Howdy, 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 gang, and happy holidays. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here on the inaugural episode of the Paizo Preview. That's right, I am rolling out a brand new monthly series where I'll be taking a look at all the physical releases for the month for both the Pathfinder and Starfinder role playing games from our friends over at Paizo Inc. Since this is the first episode, a few things I do want to tackle before we dive on in. First off, if you're familiar with the gaming gang, then you already will know that this is going to be super, super casual. None of this is scripted. And I'm taking first looks at these releases. So they're as new to me as they are to you. I'll also do my best to have these out before these releases end up in stores. Unfortunately, that's not the case this time around. Also, if you're familiar with the gaming gang, then you already know the hardcover releases that come out for Pathfinder and Starfinder either receive first looks and page throughs on my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or I share a standalone video that I upload to the channel. That's not going to change. Now, on this series, we will take a quick peek at those, but we will take a far more detailed look on both the dispatch or with a standalone video. So, want to keep that in mind. Also, Sammy Uhas is going to continue to review our Adventure Path chapters for both Pathfinder and Starfinder, whereas I tend to review the adventure compilations that we're now seeing come out or the major large scale hardcover adventures. I will still be tackling those reviews as well. So, also want to mention that the fine folks over at Paizo Inc. have provided me with these review copies, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important that you know that. So let's take a look at the Pathfinder and Starfinder physical releases for December 2022. And I think the holiday decorations behind me might be a bit of a giveaway that it's December. So, first off, we're going to take a peek at the Pathfinder Flip Mat Swamp Ruins, which just happens to have been my radio name up in Saskatchewan back in the day. No, not really. This carries an MSRP of $16.99, or you can grab just the PDF for $9.99. So if you're familiar with the flip mats and the flip tiles, then you already know that these are treated so that you can use wet, dry, and permanent markers on them and be able to wipe those off. Of course, I do believe if you're using a permanent marker, you have to use a dry erase marker over it in order to be able to wipe it off. Let's take a look at the back. Lost in the Swamp. Testaments to both the stubbornness of architects and the power of nature. Swampland ruins fall quickly but linger long, be they abandoned and slowly sinking villages or remote deteriorating fortresses in the wetlands. The ruins featured on this flip mat no longer serve as castles or citadels. Now, only monsters dwell. Let's take a look. This is a 24 by 30-inch flip mat. And as you can see, there's glare from the studio lights. That is the treatment that is on the flip mat so that you can use those markers. Let's see what we've got on this side. So this looks like a village. Like we've got a village here, possibly with a shrine in the middle. We have some outer buildings here that are falling apart. Now, one thing I like to point out to people about these flip mats, as well as the flip tiles, is that you can use these with any role playing game. Doesn't have to be Pathfinder, doesn't have to be Starfinder. But also, these work very, very well if you happen to play skirmish level miniatures games. I know a lot of people don't realize that, but these are perfect if you're playing, say, a game like Frostgrave, as an example. So this is a keep, this is a fortress of some sort. It's falling apart. Give you a better look here. So this is the Swamp Ruins Flip Mat. And once again, this carries an MSRP of $16.99, or you can grab the PDF for $9.99. Next up, we are going to be taking a look at the Abomination Vaults Battle Cards. I know a lot of people are very excited to take a peek at these. This carries an MSRP of $39.99, or you can grab the PDF for a pretty smoking deal, $9.99. So we've got the box right here. Let's take the shrink off. As I mentioned, I am taking a look at all of this for the first time, just like many of you out there are as well. Delve deep. What untold horrors await in the sprawling mega dungeon of the Abomination Vaults adventure path? This box contains 200 cards detailing every creepy aberration, sneaky hunter, and subterranean horror. Each card features a beautiful full color image on one side and that creature's statistics on the other for quick and easy reference. Show your heroes what they're facing while keeping the stats you need close at hand. We're not going to look at each and every card. In fact, we're not going to look at a ton of the cards in here, but we are going to look at a few. And as you can see, these are big cards. These are far larger than, say, a tarot card size. And they are certainly way, way larger than playing cards would be. Let's use the old hobby knife to get this open. And we'll take a look at a few of these. So it looks as if we've got 3 artworks. Very cool. That's one of the things I really like about Pathfinder, especially the second edition. The artwork is so well done, and it's pretty uniform for the most part as well. Doesn't come across as being like a mishmash or hodgepodge of art. Let's take a look at a few of these. All right, let's see what we've got here, and I'll actually bring this a little bit closer. Hopefully, our Panasonic autofocus is behaving. And this is the Drow Warden. So as you can see, the stat block that you would normally find in the adventure path or in the bestiary is all located right here. So you can show your players exactly what they're going up against, and then you've got the information on hand as well. So that is the Drow Warden. Looks like we've got a few Drow in here. Oh, this looks nice. This is the Devil. So it is a Ocelith Devil. Give you another look at this as well. That's pretty cool. Every once in a while, from the battle cards I've seen in the past, sometimes a creature will have more than one card. It's rare. Usually, all the stat information is included on a single card, but that's not always the case. And this is Carmen Rajani, who is an important NPC. No doubt he is a male human scoundrel. Scoundrel. I like the sound of that. Sweet. So as I had mentioned, we have 200 cards available to you in the Abomination Vaults Battle Cards. This carries an MSRP of $39.99, or you can grab the PDF for $9.99. So our 2 latest Adventure Path chapters are located in here. Let's open this up. see what we have got. So I know the Bloodlords adventure path for Pathfinder is coming to a close. There we go. Ghost King's Rage. And then we also have a new adventure path for Starfinder kicking off. I believe this is a 3-part adventure. The Drift Crisis continues with Drift Hackers. But first off, we're going to dive on in. We're going to be taking a look at Ghost King's Rage, which is the 6th chapter of the Bloodlords adventure path. Sammy Uhas has been reviewing this, and on average, it's been receiving about an 8 out of 10 for the adventures, some a little higher, some a little lower. But from her reviews, she has really, really enjoyed this adventure path. This chapter is written by Jessica Catalan. In fact, we get a double dose of Jessica's work because she's also the author of the new Starfinder adventure path. So I do want to point out at this point in the video, if you are a player and you are hoping that your game master is going to run Bloodlords, or maybe they're in the midst of already running Bloodlords, or maybe you're a Starfinder player and you're hoping that they're going to run Drift Hackers, or they've already planned to run Drift Hackers, definitely recommend tune out now. Even though I don't know anything about this adventure, we are going to take a peek at each of the 3 chapters within this. 3 chapters within this chapter. That sounds kind of weird. But these adventure path chapters are always broken up into 3 segments. So we're going to look at each of those. And of course, I'm going to share the information off the back. And we'll probably see some things inside that could constitute a spoiler. So once again, if you're a player, I'd recommend tune out now, tell your game master about this video so they can take a peek. All right, let's take a look at the back here. Rage Against Shadow. The newest Bloodlords have discovered who's behind the conspiracy that threatens the nation. The Ghost King Geb wants this traitor destroyed. The player characters must venture to the Boneyard to discover the location of the traitor's realm, place of shadowy horror and mind-bending reality. The Bloodlords adventure path concludes with Ghost King's Rage, a complete adventure for 18th to 20th level characters. Jump on in. Page count here is about 98 is my guess. Nope, 92. That was close. So we've got the an important map here. We'll probably have one on the back cover as well. Oh, we've got 6 different maps on here. So we're not going to look at each and every page, just so you know. I'm also going to be staying picture in picture up here. So as you can see, I'm going to be cutting off a little bit of the upper left portion of the book. So we've got chapter 1, picking up the pieces. Chapter 2, prelude to death. And then chapter 3, striking at shadow. I will mention, I have not really read through many of the Pathfinder adventure paths because Sammy does the reviews. I am going to rectify that from here on out so that I have a much better knowledge of the adventures. So as we take a peek in the coming months, I'll be able to comment a little better on what's going on with the adventure path while still trying to stay spoiler free. So one thing I shouldn't say one thing, there are a few things that I do know about the Bloodlords. For one, the player characters are not goody two-shoes by any stretch of the imagination. They are, I don't necessarily want to say that they're specifically evil, but they're certainly not good. And they could still be evil without being terribly evil. So, and of course, much of this adventure does take place in the land of Geb, which is detailed in far more detail, I guess I'll say, in the Impossible Lands Lost Omens release, which I do have my review for actually popping up tomorrow here on the channel. And very, very interesting setting. Impossible Lands is actually a very interesting region book and gazetteer as well, which I got to be very, very honest. Paizo does a really nice job with their settings. If you're disappointed with what you find from Wizards of the Coast, and I've got no beef with Wizards of the Coast, I get along just fine with the fine folks from both WotC as well as the PR company that they utilize. But some of their books don't get into as much detail as you would like to see about that particular setting or that particular region. That is never the case with Paizo. So it's important, if you are not overly familiar with Pathfinder, I tell people all the time, if you're looking for a, a bit of a crunchier set of mechanics for a fantasy role playing game, but with far more character options, then you really, really should be taking a look at Pathfinder. And of course, there is a fantastic boxed starter set that is out there as well for you to check out. So, once again, this is the finale to the campaign. And then, of course, we are going to have some information about important NPCs. And then we'll have the Adventure Toolbox, which the Adventure Toolbox will usually provide us various different new options to utilize. In fact, here's the toolbox itself. A lot of times you'll get some new magic items, new spells, especially since this is taking place in effectively kind of the land of the dead, which I'll go into more detail about Geb in my Impossible Lands review. You'll have a lot different angles for your player characters than your traditional, well, I'm going to be a gnome, right? So then once again, we've got our big bads. It's usually how we wrap up the adventure path. So that is Bloodlord's Ghost King's Rage, which is part 6 of the aforementioned Bloodlord's Adventure Path. This is available for $26.99, or you can grab the PDF alone for $19.99. Gotta say, at that price, picking up the soft cover is probably what I would recommend, since it's really only a difference of $7. All right, next up, we're going to take a look at the first part of the Drift Hackers Adventure Path, which is premiering. It is a light in the dark. It carries an MSRP of $24.99, or you can grab the PDF for $19.99. And once again, this is written by Jessica Catalan, just as Ghost King's Rage is. So let's take a peek here. Let's take a look at the back. Gloom and doom as the drift crisis continues. The heroes arrive at the drift city of Alluvian. I'll say it's Alluvian, only to find it dangerously unstable, like me. Both physically and politically. See, I'm just mentally unstable. By agreeing to aid a desperate android priest of Cousin Dolly, got to point out, I'm not up on the pronunciation of a lot of things. The heroes can help heal those divides. To do so, they must venture into a cursed part of the city where technology fails in order to restore light and power to the area. This Starfinder Adventure Path volume begins the Drift Hackers Adventure Path and includes a light in the dark, a Starfinder adventure for 7th level characters. So unlike most of the Paizo Inc. adventure paths, you're not starting out at first level. So this is for 7th level characters. And I think the reason why is because it's building on the previous adventure path, which I think got player characters up to like levels 6 and 7. So this is another jumping on part. So this is a story arc that is in 3 chapters as opposed to a full 6 chapter adventure path. So let's dive on in. That is some cool artwork on the cover there. So we get a new ship. That's usually what we find in our Starfinder adventure paths. We get the stats for a new ship, sometimes big ships, sometimes little ships. And then we are going to jump on in. So we've got 3 chapters within. And then, of course, we'll have an adventure toolbox. So, on a journey through the drift, the heroes find themselves on the doorstep of Alluvion, Trion's holy domain. They're thrust into the center of tensions between religious factions and a city slowly crumbling under the weight of the drift crisis. With only a mysterious message to guide them, the heroes ally with the desperate android priest Emerald 9 in his quest to save his contemporaries. So jumping on through here, taking a look. Something else I always like about the Paizo Inc. releases, the maps are pretty cool. The maps are pretty cool. Although I have heard people talk about with the PDFs, the resolution should be a bit higher. I don't know if that's something that's been addressed or not. I have not really dug into PDF adventures all that much simply because we always receive the physical releases from our friends over at Paizo Inc. Just taking a peek through here. So it looks like the chapters are relatively short. As far as the page count, the Starfinder adventure paths are always shorter or fewer pages than we see with the Pathfinder adventure paths. That's why the pricing is a little bit less. It looks like we are clocking in at 60, well, content wise, 62 pages. There's a couple more pages than that. More cool artwork as well. So if you're not overly familiar with Starfinder, which I would think if you're watching this video, you probably are, kind of weird. I don't know anything about Pathfinder and Starfinder, but I'm going to watch this video. This is a space fantasy, science fantasy, I guess we'll say. Very kind of space opera ish. It is not hard science fiction by any stretch of the imagination. But if you are in the market to check out a space operatic kind of, science fantasy, this is a go-to role-playing game. It really, really is. Let's see, what are we going to get? We've got our tech support. So looks like this is kind of describing your team, the connecting adventures. There you go. See, as I mentioned, this is picking up. It looks like this is picking up after Drift Crashers, which is the previous Starfinder adventure path. So we've got some new gear. And then we got our toolbox. So this is giving us a synopsis of each of the adventure chapters. So each of the 3 releases. We also, we'll normally get a bestiary with some new creatures or important NPCs as well. Sometimes we'll get new gear. Once again, we already know we get a new ship. So here we go. Here's the bestiary portion of that as well. Once again, I'm skipping a bunch of pages. The Ravenous Skull. Nice. A ravenous skull that hits with a bite attack automatically attaches to its target. Oh, joy. All right. And then we get the map key of, it looks like it's the ship that we saw right here. The ATEC Vector. So there are our deck plans, effectively, not necessarily a map, it's the deck plans. All right. So there you have a light in the dark, part one of the Drift Hackers adventure path for Starfinder. It carries an MSRP of $24.99, or grab the PDF for $19.99. Once again, as I had mentioned with the Pathfinder Adventure Path, Ghost King's Rage, price difference isn't huge. So if you got a few extra bucks, I would definitely recommend picking up the physical copy. All right. So that is the final physical release for December 2022 for Pathfinder and Starfinder from Paizo Inc. A bit of a quieter release schedule, at least for physical products. It is December, it's the holiday season. We normally see that from role playing game companies that release a good amount of content like Paizo does. Should point out, though, there is a load of digital content that has come out this month for the societies, as well as I want to say there's a new Pathfinder bounty out there. So just because these are only 4 physical releases, there's still plenty more Pathfinder and Starfinder out there this month. All right. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Paizo preview arrives every month, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for a whole lot that you're not going to find here on the YouTube channel, including the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. If you dug this video, if you would like to see me continue throughout all of 2023 and beyond, to the stars and beyond, to infinity and beyond, if I wanted to coin somebody's phrase there. If you want to see more episodes of the Paizo preview, by all means, let me know in the comment section below. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to check out this video. And here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.